Lesson 10. Today is a review day where we're going to be using the percent equation to find any one of these missing pieces. Okay, we'll do a couple of examples together. 60% of 35 is blank. Let's start by translating the words into math language. Now 60%, I'm going to have to make that a decimal before I can do any math work. 60% as a decimal is 0.6. Of means multiply. 35 is means equals. And then we have this blank that we could represent with a variable. Now I know the percent equation says percent times base equals part. 60%, 35 must be the base, and the part must be the missing piece here. So I'm going to let my variable be a. Okay. To solve for a, clearly we need to do some multiplication. Now today, if you'd like to use a calculator, you may. Okay, so I need to take 0.6 times 35 to find my part, and I get 21. Okay, even though I'm allowing you to use a calculator today, I need to see your math translation work. The work where you set up an equation and you translate from words to math symbols. Okay, make sure you're showing that work. All right, second example. 35% of blank is 14. Let's translate. 35% must be made into a decimal. 35% as a decimal is 0.35. Of means multiply. Blank, I'll just leave an open space for now. Is means equal, and then the 14. Now again, the percent equation says the percent times the base equals the part. It looks like the percent is known and the part is known. This time the base is my unknown variable. So I'm going to let my unknown variable be a b. Okay, to solve this equation for base, my goal is to get b isolated on the left side of the equal sign. If I get rid of this times 0.35, see how the b is alone, b equals answer? To get rid of this times 0.35, I need to do the opposite of timesing. Divide by 0.35 on the left, also divide by 0.35 on the right to keep your equation balanced. These two cancel each other out, and now I have b all alone on the left side equals, I have to do some division work to find my base. Again, I'm going to pull out my calculator here. 14 divided by 0.35 equals 40. 35% of 40 is 14. Third example, 18 is blank percent of 48. Translating, I have 18 is means equals blank percent must mean my p is my unknown of 48. Again, going back to that percent equation, I know that percent times base equals part. So in this case, my base must be 48 and my part is 18. It's the percent that's unknown. To solve this equation, I want to get p all by itself on the right side of the equal sign. If I get rid of this times 48, it will read p equals answer. So I have to get rid of this times 48. The way to Reverse timesing by 48 is to divide by 48 on both sides. 48 divided by 48, these cancel, and I'm left with P all alone on the right side equals, if I do this division, I'll be able to find my percent. 18 divided by 48. That equals a 0.375. Remember, your percent right now is in decimal format, but you do need to slide the decimal point over 2 spaces to make it a percentage. So no, my answer is not 0.375. Move the decimal over twice. My answer is 37.5%. 37.5%. If you were asked to round to the nearest whole number, that would just be 38%. 5 or more go next door. Okay, so in the first scenario, I was solving for the part. In the second scenario, I was solving for the base. And in the third scenario, I was solving for percent. Today, you are allowed to use your calculator, but if you want to get full credit on your assignment, you have to show me your equation setup or your math translation work. That's what I'm going to be looking for. All right, the last example. Haley buys a used car for $3,060. She pays $765 as a down payment. What percent of the total cost is her down payment? I'm going to use the percent equation and fill in what I know for these variables. Percent times base equals part. Let's go to the first number. $3,060. This is the total cost of the car. Now base, your base is always your total. So I can plug in 3,060 for the base. Okay, Haley pays $765 as a down payment. She's paying part of the total. So 765, I'm going to plug in for the part. And drag down my equal sign. The percent is not given to me in the equation. Clearly right here in the problem, it says what percent. So P is my unknown variable that I'm just going to leave a P and drag the multiplication sign straight down. Okay, so this here is my problem written in math language. Now to solve for P, I need to get rid of this times 3,060. If I cover that up, it says P equals answer. How do I get rid of a times 3,060? Well, the opposite of timesing is dividing. Divide on this side. 3,060 divided by 3,060, those cancel. And if I do this division here, that should give me my percent. 765 divided by 3,060 equals 0.25. That is my answer written in decimal format. I have to go from decimal format to percent to get my final answer. To go from decimal to percent, you slide the decimal point 2 spaces right. 0.25 as a percent is 25%. So Haley has paid 25% of her total car cost, or she's paid a quarter of the total car cost. Okay, again, on your assignments today, if you want full credit, show your equation setup. You can use a calculator to do the division or the multiplication, but show your equation setup.